Welcome to season 2, episode 2 of the We Know Nothing show. Pleasure to have you all with us as always. As you can see from the bottom screen, we've got a very, very special guest on tonight's show. Where do I start with this, lad? So we have got Chris Rogers, fondly known to his friends and associates as Ted. So welcome to the We Know Nothing show, Ted. Thank you very much for coming on, buddy.
No problem at all.
Like I said, I'm going to give you the big one. So before we go into the festivities and kicking off about the show, I'll just put it on record that Ted has scored the best goal I've seen in local amateur, whatever football we've played, over at Langor, about 45, 50 yards out, no joking, on the left-hand side of the touchline. He looked up, looked at everyone, pulled his wand back, that his left foot, and absolutely pinged it into top bins from, honestly, I'm not even joking, it must have been close to 50 yards, absolutely belted it into top bins. Now, if it would have been me, I would have retired on that. But to this day, yeah, you should have done easily to this day, the best goal I've ever seen from a local amateur footballer. So there you go, Ted. I'll give you the big one. Youngie, as always, son, can't do it without you, won't want to do it without you, pal. So welcome to the We Know Nothing show. And yeah, that's it. Youngie, fire us away, son.
Yeah, so welcome, Ted. Welcome, Mark. Again, we're back. This week we're going to talk about grassroots football. We're going to talk about a lot to do with Ted, who is the chairman of Burnley and District Sunday League. He is Mr. Sunday League, you might say, at the minute. He's trying to bring back the life that was Sunday League football in Burnley. I remember I didn't play it much at the start, but when I did get into Sunday League, you know, there was 3 divisions and stupid amount of teams in each division, and it was mega. It was massive. You were the football pitches up Towneley, the football pitches up the Prairie, everywhere were rammed on a weekend. You know, I don't really know what happened to it, and maybe you can enlighten us in a little bit more in that in a few minutes on what actually happened to Sunday League football and why it went to pot. But from what I've seen and what I've heard of you putting the effort in, is, you know, you're rebuilding it, and hopefully we can help with sharing your story tonight and you know, the conflicts that you've got going on with a few people, and just try and drum up a bit of support for you, really, and try and get some teams back on your side, or people back on your side. Try and get the council on your side. So yeah, I've got a few questions, but I think I will just hand over to you and let you explain your journey to becoming the chairman of the Sunday League, really.
Well, I kind of fell into it, really. I used to attend the meetings as manager of the Craven Effa, and at the back end of last season, the guys that were on the committee, and fair play to them, on the committee for 30, 40 years. Now, whether that was detrimental as to how it fell away with the times and they didn't keep up with the times, but they handed the baton on to 2 of the guys, and literally within a week they went, no, we can't do it anymore. So we sat at a meeting and I went, well, okay, I'll do this bit and I'll do that bit, and before you know it, I'm doing the job lot. And that was purely and simply because having played in the leagues, and like you said, 3 divisions, 10 teams in each divisions, Towneley packed, Prairie packed, you can't let that go. And because I can't play anymore, I still do miss the changing room culture, the football culture, and everything that it is. So, you know, it was one of those where I had absolutely no idea what I was taking on. And the minute that I did, it was, my week is now absorbed with sorting the referees, sorting the fixtures, sorting the council, sorting the registration for teams, getting the managers to communicate together. And what we have seen so far this season is managers have got a voice, but what's been more important, we're giving the referees a voice as well. So, you know, there was a lot of bad press about the league. there were managers, referees that didn't want to play because of the abuse that they got, and you can brush it off and say, "Oh, it's Sunday football." You're bound to get the odd bit of offence here and there, but ultimately we want the better referees, and the reason why they were getting abuse is because, with the greatest respect, they're probably 60, 70-year-old and don't move out the centre circle. So it's a huge task. It has been a whirlwind of maybe 5-6 months of talking to players, talking to managers, talking to pubs. I think within the leagues as it stands now, the team that we have, the Craven, we're the only pub team left. Now, I want
used to be pub teams, wasn't it? It was built on pub teams.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
You can rhyme off names like the Angel, George Forth, many a big side that used to be in them leagues that dominated the leagues. And, we can speak. I speak to Michelle, who's the landlady of the Craven, and she will vouch to any landlord. If you get a pub team, you will get business.
Yeah.
Because near as damn it, not only like probably 60-70% of the side go back to the pub, you've also got the families as well, because they're going down to Towneley, they're taking the kids down to the park, they come back, she'll put food on, there's a few of us will stay and have a few drinks. So from a business point of view, from a landlord, it's an absolute no-brainer. A football kit will cost you 250 quid, maybe. We're looking as a league next year, because we've now got sponsorship to bring in. We'll provide all the nets. So when you get into town, there'll be 10 sets of nets. So new teams don't have to worry about that expense. Corner flags, things like that. So everything that we can do to encourage new sides to come into the league, but also not worry about the cost implications of doing so. Yes, obviously go out and get your own kits and stuff, but come down to town and the nets will be there for you. And just bit by bit, we want to do our piece. But yeah, it's tough. But yeah, now that I'm bedded into it, I can't see myself not doing it.
Yeah.
You think the small-sided game killed a little bit of the bigger games because it was easier to go and play five-a-side for a team midweek, and then you get your weekend to yourself?
There's a bit of both, really, because as a Craven effort team, we don't train during the week.
Yeah.
Because I've got players in that side that do play a bit of Saturday football, but also players that do play in them 7-a-side leagues. So the majority, yes, there are quite a lot knocking about. We've obviously got the Burnley College, Nelson and Cone College, Crowwood. So all these facilities that run these leagues, kind of great for me, because I wouldn't have to worry about doing a training session midweek and taking up another night of my time when they're just already getting the fitness anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, to a certain extent, I'd say it would do. But then there's also the flip side of, I think the modern day football has changed as well, in terms of they don't want to get kicked to lumps on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. But also, they're not playing on Saturdays as much either.
No.
I think the Saturday numbers are dropping as well.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of agree with you on that one, Ted. I'm still playing in the East Lancs League at the moment, and it's only this year really where they've expanded it a little bit, where they've got the Division 1, Division 2, and they've got a reserve division now. So it's sort of forced the hand of teams to, like, obviously teams with the reserve teams and stuff, and obviously add that extra then players into the second division and top division. But it's a good point that you make about the young adults. We're going to touch on that. It's a really good point that you made about, I think, because you've got so much accessibility now in regards to 5, 6, 7-a-side as well during the week with all the leagues and stuff. We local lads are obviously Tom Henderson and stuff who does his league. He runs a league. He asks footballers to come down and enter teams and stuff. You've got Chris Greenwood as well, who does his leagues. He used to do the Monday League down at Towneley. Yeah. So you've still got these people who are involved, and obviously because you've got a few decent pitches now. You've got the Prairie, you've got the Leisure Box, you've got the 4G down at Burnley College, you've got Crowwood, and they're all looking at that revenue and stuff. Obviously, all the teams are playing and stuff.
It's not cheap to play in all them leagues, though, is it? It's not cheap to play.
No, absolutely not.
No, not at
absolutely
all.
not. And that's what someone made a point. I can't remember who I was speaking to. I can't remember talking about it, but they were saying, like, if you're playing for a club, and you your subs are a fiver a time.
Yeah.
So it's like one of them, innit? It's like you say, it's like you play on Saturday, pay a fiver, go back to the boozer, have a couple of drinks. Whereas if you're playing Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and it's 5-6 quid a pop, that's 18 quid, and then you've got your subs and drink on a finger, and all of a sudden by the time you get to Sunday, you spent like close to 50 quid. So that's why I think a lot of people don't bother with Saturday and Sunday, because they've got all that accessibility now during the week. And most footballers, like you say, most footballers don't play Saturdays anymore. They just play Sundays, which is
the best
shame,
thing
really.
to encourage with all them leagues that are going on is go and take a referee's course. Because we pay our referees 40 quid a do now, and some of them will referee 3 games on a Sunday.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. And also,
and what we're trying to do is encourage. If we get young referees coming to the league, me personally, I strictly tell the lads no back chat, because once on a back chat, this kid will go straight to women's league or straight to kids leagues where he's getting less abuse. So if we want good referees coming through, that we're trying to encourage. And what we do on our match cards now, and even this is old school, even like the newer leagues, they won't have match cards that they hand into the secretary every week, is we want a score out of 10 for the referee, and we want a sportsmanship for the opposing team. But then we also want the referee to do the same.
Yeah.
So what we can then do is start maybe highlighting problem players that are constantly getting sin binned and things like that. We broach that to the meeting. We put a disciplinary person within the committee, and their responsibility is to look at problem players or problem referee, problem teams, and say, right, no more. This league's getting a better reputation now, so we want to strip that out of it and make sure that any teams that are joining the league, and granted, because it's Burnley, but we've got some Aki teams already next year. Billington want to join, Rosendale team want to join, a couple of Aki teams want to join. So there is going to be a few games that have got that bit of rivalry.
Of course.
The standard referees. So going back to the midweek football, them referees can earn an absolute pocket. It could be a full-time job, even at that level.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it could. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
especially if you're a good referee as well.
Refereeing in 3 games, 3 leagues in a week, and then referees Saturday and Sunday, and if you're getting 40 quid a pop, it's a nice little earner.
Yeah,
you can give me abuse for an hour and a half for 40 quid. I'm not bothered.
we do that anyway, Ted, for free.
How did COVID impact? When did you take over as chairman to COVID?
It was so COVID kicked in March, so that kind of ended that season in March 2019.
Yeah.
And it was during that period that then they took over. So the season started in September. The COVID was still in place, and literally I think the old committee at that point just give up.
Yeah.
We were getting changed in the car park at Towneley. So when I took it on, I said, right, well, look, the council don't give a crap about Towneley. Give me the keys. So every Sunday, I'm down there at 11:30. I open up, put the heating on, get all the changing rooms sorted, and the last one to leave, because we sweep out all the changing rooms. But that saves us a cost, because we're not having to pay for a member of council to go down there. They give me the keys for the changing rooms, and I think we were one of the first people to go in. I was one of the first people to go in after COVID.
Yeah.
And if you suffer from arachnophobia, oh my days, some of the biggest spiders' webs, and they're just all over the dressing rooms, everywhere.
Were they?
I didn't even know how to get rid of them. I even spoke to a friend of mine, Liam Kilbride, say, do you get that, like the fogging stuff, and get rid of it? He went, no, you just want to maybe get a hose. I said, I daren't even do that, because it just, the building would crumble and fall down.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Absolutely derelict.
Yeah.
So, but it was from a playing point of view, everybody were very despondent at that point. I didn't think the league were going to survive, because at that point, I think we had 8 teams, 6 or 7 teams. 3 teams said we'll only come back when it's fully functional. We can use the changing rooms. 2 of which haven't come back.
Oh.
So it did massively affect. And we touched on it before I went on air, that the impact from a mental point of view. Weekend football to me is that's my release after work. It's
yeah, absolutely.
We all let's
touch on that, Ted. Let's jump to that, because obviously COVID-19 had an impact mentally on a lot of people anyway.
Yeah.
But for me, what you've done and the way you've taken this league on, and the look at the ideas that you're coming forward with on how to move the league forward and bring the league forward. But mental health, like you say, it's the same with me. I now play Saturday football again. But once I've been at work all week, I want to release, and it helped me.
Yeah.
Football has massively helped with my mental health. For those who don't know, I'm involved in the Invictus team as well, which is sports-related, adaptive sport. And again, it's trying to use sport as an outlet, trying to use sport as a recovery. And I think mental health-wise, sport has massively helped me. So I can imagine that these people who stopped playing football throughout COVID, like you say, a couple of teams haven't come back. There's people there that, yes, them teams haven't come back. Have them teams moved on? What you also dealing with, not you personally, you may well be, but you're helping a lot of people who think in exactly that same way. I go to work Monday to Friday. Some people work Saturdays as well, and even Sundays, but their release is football. So mentally, you're helping them. What you talk over what you think mental health wise you're doing as a club, and I think you mentioned there's a team in there that are purely based around that.
There's a community club called Unity. They currently have 2 teams in the 2 divisions, and apparently I wasn't aware of this, but it is a nationwide thing. So there's different sectors in different counties and things like that. And the guy Dom who runs it all, he's very strong on social media, the way that he advertises the league games and everything. But they have apps and things as to help and promote and get people into the game.
Yeah,
I was recently approached. You might know him, Andy Powell at Healthier Heroes. He's done a lot.
Oh no, yeah, Andy Powell, yeah,
down at the place in Burnley.
Yeah,
so he's approached me about doing some sort of football thing, like maybe a mini tournament that they could help raise money. So outside of this football, I work in recruitment as well, and I'm a massive advocate of like ex-forces and things like that. So I
did see something actually. I think you posted something on your Facebook or somewhere on one of your social medias the other day regarding ex-forces and something.
Yeah.
It might have been a while back. I was looking through social media.
Massive advocate of ex-forces. Anybody who served our country, whether it be for a year or 20 years, the transition back into civistry. Some people have talked about the struggles, and it is, I've sat with people. One guy was in the army for 14 years. His CV was like 1 page, a couple of paragraphs. I went, I'm not having that. No chance. No. But the fear that the career advisors put into them, that your skills aren't relevant back on Civvy Street, and you're like, no, they definitely are. And
100% they are.
He went from a little CV of half a page to a 2-page CV to him landing a job to within 6 months, that employer saying to me, Chris, I need 3 more of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of just the way that he came across. But without having that sit-down conversation with him and giving a different prospect of what it could be, he wouldn't have had that outlook on life. And some of the guys that play football, there's 2 of the guys that are brought from that Unity team, and they've actually created a 3rd team. Right. So, and we both sat in a meeting. They struggle from anxiety, they struggle from depression. So to sit and listen to them, and I'm thinking, every time that I've seen you, I would not have thought that at all.
Yeah.
So it shows how well it's hidden as well. The ones that are suffering.
Yeah. Mental health is massive. I went through a big stage of it myself where I didn't talk about it for a long period of time, and I think that's the male stigma we're all men here, and
we don't talk.
It's been going on for some time, and it's more come to the forefront now that men should start talking and using the voice really about and talking about mental health openly, and it's something that I've taken on myself, and I quite like. I don't mind talking about my mental health situation now. It's way behind me. I've dealt with it really well. I still have my little bursts here and there where I need to give my head a wobble, but football is my release. Like without football, like, I can watch football all day long, and I love watching football, as we all do. I still don't get that same release as when I put my boots on and I'm playing and you're running around. And you know, I'm 36 this year.
That's why I had to carry on.
A bit overweight, and
I'm stomping up and down that sideline on the Sundays because I'm itching to get on the pitch.
Yeah,
I've signed on because I've joked to the players because I've said if we get a penalty because we do rolling subs, I'll be bringing myself on. I'll take the pen, put it in, and walk off. But
I love it. Yeah, make sure you take a microphone on you.
We've got to be careful from a mental health point of view that, you know, especially like the team that we play in, some of the characters are, you know, there's no. If you're a shrinking violet, you'll come undone very soon. So it's not a sink or swim, but we've got to. I know for a fact, if we, for example, our goalkeeper's 30th birthday last season on a Saturday night, I know 90% of my squad are going to be at that do.
Yeah.
So I'm in trouble for them turning up to football on Sunday. So, but that's how close of a community it is. So if people can see that, and you know, I keep reverting back to going back to a pub or a working men's club or whatever you want to do, it's unbelievable the camaraderie that builds up. And now between the teams in the league and the managers, the WhatsApp group for the managers, it's flying off all the time. We've got a couple of characters in there that I need to rein in a little bit because they just mourn about everything.
Yeah.
But we want to give everybody a voice.
Yeah.
Because if everybody has their ideas, it works. But mental health massive. I'm currently looking through all the old handbooks or inclusivity, diversity, and all things like that. Yeah. The modern day, that's all it's about. We don't rule anything out. Obviously, you know, would a woman be able to come out and play in that Sunday league down at Towneley? It'd be very, very tough. But
it's never say never. Also about playing. We mentioned referees. We want to see more winning referees in football as well, don't we?
Apparently, we've got within our referees group that our referee secretary's now got set up. We've got about 16 referees in the group. And what he'll do on a Monday, I'll go, right, these are the fixtures for Sunday, who's available. And we have got 2 women in that league. Apparently one of them, I was told, is easy on the eye, but she also doesn't take no messing as well. So which is great. Yeah. So I think she'd probably distract a lot of people. That referee on a Sunday, all lads wouldn't know what to do. They'd probably behave more. So
all P's and Q's will be out.
And what we're doing this season as well, one of the guys from Globe, he's massive on all like the FA courses, the free FA courses. So we're encouraging all managers to do DBS, all managers to do certain checks so that when we go for our affiliation, the league, LFA looks at it as a whole and goes, well, bloody hell, like 80 managers have got all these certifications and qualifications. Yeah, well, we're taking it serious. Or bringing a welfare officer in. So we've got players under the age of 18. We're doing everything that we can. So as soon as the LFA look at it, we've got everything in place. So kind of this season, it's not been patched together. We've still got the league. So the league game starts Sunday. The Towneley Cup will still take place. The finals will be back at Padiham. I'm talking to Burnley. I can't think it happening this year because I think
I was going to bring that up actually.
Yeah, well, the conversations are ongoing.
That's the Towneley Cup, isn't it? That's where it was. That's where it was.
That's where it was. Yeah,
we played on it. I think our game against the Angel back in 2008 was the last Towneley Cup on turf. Since then, it's been at Towneley, Padiham, and even last season during COVID, we played it at the Prairie, and you only had a 2-hour slot. So we were 1-0 up with a few minutes to go. They nearly equalised. Even if they've equalised, it'd have had to go straight to penalties because we only had a 2-hour slot.
Yeah,
and that's what because the old committee didn't even ring Paddy in to get it sorted. So the Towneley Cup. I've even asked Aki Stanley as well, even though it's not Burnley orientated. But dream scenario next season, if we can get it back on the turf, I without doubt would say 2 or 3 teams would want to join the league purely and simply just to play in the Towneley Cup and have a chance of playing on turf.
Yeah,
and I think
it was a draw, wasn't it? It was a
massive.
Pull. You had under 23s of your Nelsons, your Colnes, your Padihams, teams like that wanted to be involved in the Towneley Cup, which then brought you more it brought more limelight on the league. It brought, because it was run by the Sunday League committee. That's who ran the Towneley Cup. But the amount of teams that were in it, it went on for forever.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, obviously we've only got the 12 teams in this year, so there'll just be 4 teams got a bye, so it'll be the last 16 quarterfinals, semis, and then final. But even still, people are already talking about it now. I've already done the draw.
Yeah.
None of the teams know what the draw is yet because they haven't released the fixtures.
Yeah.
So looking at the draw, how it's all done on. There's no misdemeanors or
favoritism or
best 3
anything.
teams meeting the final. It's just look at the draw like it would be in the FA Cup. And next season we should have 2 leagues of 8. So straight away we'll have the 16 teams to go straight to the quarterfinals. So, but yeah, it's a massive draw. But I don't think it'll happen this year, and that is in no respect to Padiham, who will be hosting the 2 League Cup finals. So they're probably going to be played early April, at a guess, based on fixtures. We might even be one on a Friday night and one on a Sunday. But either way, every time they've hosted, great host, bar facility up there, decent pitch, good setup. And to be fair, they always look after us at Padiham. So yeah, looking forward to getting, like, we're in one of the finals already. So yeah, just looking forward to get back up there, and that'll be promoted to hell. You might know Sean McDevitt.
Sean.
Sean's one of the sponsors this year. He sponsored the League Cup.
All right, okay.
So he'll be up there on the day. And what we're doing, we're doing like little class trophies for like man of the match and things like that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants, like you used to get at Borrowdale, them little trophies.
The tankers, little tankers. Yeah.
Yeah, we're grown men, and it's yes, all right, maybe a little medal for runners up and things like that, but there'll just be a box of medals in the cellar of the Craven because nobody wants them. So we've asked the teams, what's the point in wasting the money that we're going to raise into the budget of the league to buy trophies that nobody even wants? So great news, both obviously very close to all our hearts. At the first AGM, I broached to all the managers because we're going to buy 4 new trophies. So the Premier League, the Second Division, Premier League Cup, the Second Division Cup, Premier Division Cup, the Premier Division League Cup will be the Mark Harrison Memorial Trophy.
Yeah, amazing.
Amazing. That'll be a silver-plated trophy that'll last for 30, 50 years. The Second Division League Cup league is the Dennis Orr Memorial Trophy. So Dennis refereed in the league for ages. Yeah. So we spoke to his family to say, look, it'll be a fitting tribute. But Mark's mum and dad, Michael and Susan, as soon as they heard that, they said, rather than you take it out of the league's money, we'll buy that trophy. So they'll be buying the trophy. So what will happen is the winners will get the trophy for the year, but the runners up will get, the winners will also get a mini replica trophy that they get to keep. So again, take it back to the pub. So you give the big trophy back at the start of the new season, but you get a mini replica.
You put that behind the bar or
So there's loads of little stuff because in sponsorship alone, when I started doing it, we had no sponsors. There used to be the Miners, Alderson and Horan. We still have the meetings at the Miners, but they haven't come forward for any sponsors. So we've raised 2,100 quid in sponsorship.
Amazing.
And then we'll have 500. Well, there's 600 quid because it's 50 quid to register a team. There was some money left over from the committee from the previous year. So I said to the guys, look, we've got sponsorship money there that, yes, the big trophies are about anything from 250 to 300 quid. But once you bought it this season, that's it.
Buy it again
for 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to get it again, do you? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm saying, and what we want to do is the presentation night used to be brilliant.
It did.
You go up to the big room in the Miners, you'd see all the trophies there and everything. So rather than having all the trophies, yes, we'll still have the main trophies and the replicas and things. But if there's money in the pot, I'd be saying, right, I'll speak to the managers, let me know how many are coming. We'll take 500 quid out of the pot. You'll each get a couple of raffle tickets. You get a couple of free beers on the night.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then, then people will see the trophies. Well, they get a free beer. Good night at the Miners, whatever it may be. Just all the little things that go back to that social aspect.
Yes.
So being with your mates, being out, not being sat at home and that the mental well-being that we talked about earlier. That's what I want to do, because that's all I know in football. Social banter.
Well, that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about having a social. It's about getting out of your house and getting off your settee. And usually you play football and then you go and watch Super Sunday in pub with your mates. I
used to always have a deal with missus to say, well, look at the fixtures on Sunday. And let's say, for example, obviously you get back to the pub maybe 3:30, and you'd look at fixtures 4:30, next Arsenal versus Man United or Liverpool Man United. I'd say, look, tonight, love, I'm having a few beers, so I won't be home till 6:30, 7 o'clock. Yeah. But if it were like Brighton versus Villa, all right, I'll watch it, but I'm not overly bothered. Yeah, but I'd still go back to pub.
I'm going to go back to the pub. I'm going to have one with lads, and then I'll be home at a normal time. And
because now my responsibility is obviously collecting all the subs and things like that. So, it's very easy to say, look, I'm going back to the pub, get all the paperwork sorted. But I'm very similar at work on Fridays. When my first job was at FH Brown, and I remember at the end of the first week, the boss said, "Come on, we go to Lane Ends or we go to Bull and Butcher. Don't matter if you have one glass of Coke, a pint, or a few pints.
We go
a week at work.
Yeah,
we'll have a chat." And I did that I've done that for the rest of my life. I've always called it the Friday tea time pint. And it doesn't matter if it's just
switches off
an hour.
It's your switch off. It's your end of week. That's your turn off, and then your football is your release. And it works.
Other people's release might be the families and things like that. But every time I do the post on Facebook, it's really pushed on. Come down to Towneley. It's not just football. You've got the park. You've got the ice cream van. You've got Towneley Hall.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was going to bring up.
Dogs for a walk.
You're building it to be. Towneley is going to be the host, and what better place? It's a absolute wonderful area, isn't it?
Don't get me wrong. I saw the news this week about the investment in Burnley College, a further 12.5 million. 12.5 million would completely regenerate Towneley. You could knock the changing rooms down, make a nice little facility, maybe even you don't necessarily need a cafe in there, but when you come over that little bridge and you've got the park on the right, the changing rooms to the left, just on them crossroads where you can see Townley Hall right in front of you. I even wanted to get a banner there that had all the sponsors on it to say, proud sponsor of the Burnley District League.
Yeah.
So no matter whether you're just down where with the kids, at the park, at the ice cream van, Townley Hall, it were right at that crossroads so that these sponsors had exposure. And one of our sponsors already, Matt Marsden from SureGuard Security, he's already got a job off the back of it. So it's paid for itself, no end.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing with it though, from what I would say about it, like the biggest thing in just listening to you, and again, like, me and Youngie have known you for a lot of years, and the thing for me with listening to you is your enthusiasm, and that's one of the things that, when you are having a really busy week at work and you are, struggling with work and stuff, and we all get there, we all get to that point where we're like, oh. And I think with you, because you're so determined to make the Sunday scene in the football side of things, successful again. You're raising the profile of both leagues. Like you said, the Towneley Cup, that's going to be a massive draw for someone. Like if you can get it back on the turf as well, because that's the end goal. Playing on the turf on the Holy Grail. I think it's really, really good to see, and it's really really nice to see someone who has played local football for so long, played with some good lads, some good friends made, some good memories made, and now you're giving back. And now what you got out of football, you're sort of giving back in the way of promoting the Sunday League, getting everyone in, invested in, and like Youngie said, like for me, like your mental health thing it's paramount, and not just in on a Saturday and Sunday. It's every day. Your mental health, it's something that, like, I didn't realise the difference between like Army and Civvy Street, obviously, until Youngie were in the Army. And when Youngie came out on like release and stuff, and he were on like, he were on leave and stuff, he used to say to me, he said, oh my God, he said, these civvies, they walk so slow. He says, I've never seen out like it. And I never used to pick up on it. I'm like, what's he on about? We walk slow. What's he talking about? And you know, stuff like that. And, you know, a great point what you made about the, you know, the guy who in the army and stuff. And I think you sitting down with someone is a bit like, obviously, you're promoting him to say, hang on a minute, you've done 14 years in the service. You've served our country. You've served our queen. You know, you've served all these things. Get that on your CV. Promote yourself. Promote it. And that I think with you being in the recruitment scene, I think that helps you with how you are promoting this, because you know what channels to go through. But the biggest thing for me is what you're doing is you're networking, and you're getting people involved. You're getting people talking to each other that don't normally speak to each other, and that's promoting the, you know, the draw of the league and stuff. Like you said with Sean McDevitt, local lad, you know, played football, good standard, good player. Now he's giving back by sponsoring it. You know, the Harry situation, you know, it's still close to all of us arts who, you know, who knew him and stuff, and a lot of people didn't know him who knew about his journey and stuff. And that's, you know, again, you know, with word of mouth and stuff. And dedicating something like that to, you know, Aaron, keeping his legacy going, and, you know, for his little boy, and obviously his mum and dad and his wife, you know, Lindsay. Yeah, I mean, for me, you know, I love what you're doing, and if I weren't 37, I'd definitely look to get involved in playing Sundays. But there's no way this lad could do Saturday and Sunday anymore. No chance. But you are raising the profile of it. I mean, you know, when we were playing, like Youngie played a couple of times for Park. When I was playing for Park years ago, the standard was unbelievable. You were having teams who were playing Saturdays at Barlicks, Nelson, Clitheroe, and Colnes, who were putting teams in the Sunday league, and the standard were really, really good. And I think that's what you'll get. Yeah, I think that's what you'll get.
Talking potentially about, could the Pendle charity and the Burnley League merge? But
yeah.
It's, you know, that'd be a big ask, because, you know, I know Chris, who runs the league. I've had good conversations with him, but there's some teams already that are looking at maybe do they switch back over to Burnley in the afternoon.
Yeah,
you know, I could not get my lads. I used to love that league. The standard was better, you know. And if you did have a hangover, you're up at 9 o'clock. You're kicking off at 10:30. You finish by 12:30. The rest of the day is yours, and you're fresh again.
Yeah,
whereas,
100%.
You know, sometimes I get guys coming down to Towneley, but they're sick on side at pitch, or they rock up at 1:55 for a 1 o'clock kickoff. It's, you know, my worst time of the week is between 10:30 and 12:30 on Sunday. All the people that have said that they're going to play, I'm now looking at them going, well, you told me you were playing on Friday. Now I know you did it last night. So what time did you get in? And then, but I always say to him, I'd much rather you tell me, Ted, I can't play.
Yeah.
Tell me at 10 o'clock. Give me a couple of hours to find somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Now I've got to take that stress in. Whilst I'm trying to sort that team out, I've also got to get into Towneley and open up and make sure everybody else is sorted. So, but it keeps me busy.
Yeah, so what I want to touch on is, I was reading on the FA website that says the grassroots football is worth £10 billion to the UK economy. Now,
it doesn't surprise me.
That's a hell of a lot of money. But also, on, you know, we've touched on mental health. But what that's doing is saving the NHS, who have been under so much stress this year, £43 million, just grassroots football alone. So that, when I read into that, what I get out of that is, that's a hell of a lot of money. And if we're making the economy £10 billion a year, as in people that play grassroots football, where's that money going? And what's that money? How much of that money is being passed back down into grassroots football? And then the £43 million, what you're doing and what you have been doing is getting people back out on the football pitches, and not just helping with mental health, but helping with physical health. And, you know, all the health benefits that come with keeping fit. And, you know, we've mentioned a number of times going to the pub. You know, going to the pub and drinking every night of the week is not healthy for you. However, going and having a social drink with your mates after a game of football is, we're not saying it's the best thing to do. We're saying the best thing to do is go and have a social with your friends. And whether you decide that you have a social with your friends and play football, and then you decide to go home afterwards, that's solely down to you. But what we all know is that, and we've seen it, pubs make the best sponsors for football teams.
Yeah,
pubs make
definitely
the best areas for teams to go. I've seen it locally where a cafe sponsor a football team. So a local CAF sponsor a football team. I don't think it's the same going back to a local CAF and having a cup of tea and a bacon sandwich after football. You want your sausage bap or your stew or your chips and sausages and your pint that's been laid on that landlord or landlady. But I think what you're doing is massive for Burnley and massive for young people. And I don't know how many clubs you're involved with have more of a grassroots football. But would you like to see some of these clubs build into bigger teams and bigger grassroots football? Is that somewhere where you can see that
in the back of my head? I look at that gap that as soon as you get to 16, it's a huge step from being a 16-year-old and going into playing down at Towneley on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So dream scenario, whether it be 2-3 years down the line, is we still have the two divisions, but we create a third division, which we class as an under 23s or under 21s league.
Yeah.
So teams that from your likes of your Pendle Forest, your Fulham Colts, all these young sides that have up to under 16s, it's not then they just fall off the edge of a cliff. They can move into like a development league on a Sunday afternoon and still continue that trend, because there might be some that are solid, that'll play on Saturday afternoons and be good footballers. But there'll be others that once they get to 16, and the modern day 16-year-old is prone to going out on a night out and not going out till 1 in the morning and getting on till 8 in the morning. But there are a select few that will want to move it through. So there's a little part of me that, a dream scenario would be having a third league that is under 21s, under 23s, and they have a couple of season, or even if it's 2 seasons in that division, and in the cup games they get pitched against some of the sides in the second and first division, just to see the physical aspect. Because we have one of the blokes who plays for us. I went in to watch his lad at Belvedere on Saturday, and I always joked to him saying, "Oh, he's ready now." He even asked for a Craven top for his 16th birthday, and I went, "Look, he's physically strong. He's a good player. I wouldn't be fearful at all." He went, "No, it's not you you need to convince, it's his mother." So she's fully understanding that, he's not ready to take that leap, because ultimately he's still 16 as well. So he's still, childlike in a way.
That's still the Sunday football mentality, though, isn't it? And you're trying to stamp that out a little bit, aren't you? You're trying to take away that. I don't want people to come into that league and think, as soon as I control that ball, somebody's going to come straight back in it. You're trying to take that out. You're trying to give, like you said already, you're trying to give the referees control. You're trying to give the managers and players, what's the word I'm looking for? Boundaries put. Them having repercussions on them. It used to be that you'd have a repercussion, you'd get a red card, and then the following week you'd play under somebody else's name. Exactly. That's what would happen, and then you get sent off on somebody else's name, and then they'd get fined.
Moving forward now, what we've said to the referees is, give the yellow cards, give the red cards. Don't just give them on the day and don't send them in. Send them in, because that will do is, we're sending them in now, so you are going to get the fine. You are going to be suspended. As of next season, every single team will be instructed. Now, when you used to sign a player in the Sunday League, you just get a little bit of card with name, put your passport photo on.
Piece of paper,
sign it. Now it's all going to be on the whole game system. And next season, as per instruction from the league, every player must have a photo on the WGS system, so we can see exactly who's there. We can see who's got any suspensions against them. But with this disciplinary person within the committee, we're stamping out on the reports that we're getting back from the referees, but we're telling them, if you're getting back chat, sin bin them. Because rest assured, if you're winning, you're one apiece in an important game, and one of your players starts gobbing off because he didn't like a decision from the referee, and he gets Simbin for 10 minutes, and then you go 2-1 down, me as a manager, he's going to get it.
Yeah.
But also from the rest of the team, he's going to get it as well. So that's where we're really pushing back on the discipline. Don't be scared to give out the yellow, red, or Simbins. Because what that will do, it should, to the right person, go, all right, I'm not going to do that again. Or, no, we played in the game last Sunday. We won 2-1 with the last kick of the game. It was a fantastic game, very physical, but all the tackles were fair. The referee weren't up to scratch that much on that particular day, but both managers walked off the end of the pitch and said, great game. Probably deserved to be one apiece, but we snatched it with the last kick of the game. But from a physical aspect, I look at it there and think, unless a 16-year-old's very good, very agile and a good player, the chances are he'd go missing in that game and probably wouldn't want to come back next week.
Yeah.
So this is where it's a very fine line as to how we bridge that gap. Yeah,
and I think what you just going back to the point of what you were making about in a couple of years' time, the dream would be to have that sort of development side of things of having an extra league for the lads that stop playing at 16 with the local team. Now, from a point of view of obviously when we were playing, and the presentation that we used to hold, we used to be blown away by the fact that we could fill turf. We all
James Hargreaves standing.
Fill all that with the teams we had, and that was just a Borrowdale presentation. That weren't like any other teams. That were just us.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, and this is one of the points I want to bring up with you, and Youngie, you can touch on this as well, because obviously we've all been involved in a club. We've all been lucky enough to be involved with Borrowdale. We have an affiliation, a love for a local club that did a lot for local lads. Now, I wasn't one of them who played at Borrowdale from the age of 8 to 16 and then went into the senior team. I came from just word of mouth, and Youngie came from word of mouth with me. And obviously, I don't know if you played for Borrowdale at a young age or anything, but you were
Borrowdale and Barrowford Celtic when I was younger. So
and you were there obviously when I got there. And it's a great point that you've made there, Ted, about the development side of things, about these lads who are coming through and I've like you say, lads our age now, their lads are coming through and playing football, and their lads are looking strong, they're looking good and stuff. But like you were saying, you get to a point as a young lad, and if you've played that long, you want some of the lads who want to carry on. They don't, like you said, they like shrinking violets sometimes because there's no in between. And there's that, they go straight into that. I mean, we know from when we were playing, some of the teams we played against, some of them 16-year-olds that if we threw them in there, like you said, they won't come back. So I love that what you're talking about having like a bit of a development league from like a sort of senior plus league where the lads who are coming through at 16 can play in that league. Like I said, maybe under 23s, under 21s. And they can carry on their career in that. But the one thing I want to ask you is what is the, and I suppose it's probably like a question that you probably won't be able to answer, but what is the ultimate goal? What is the long-term goal for Chris Rogers, in the sense of what do you want to see out of this? What do you want to get from this? What, I know by knowing you, and I'm sure Youngie will agree with this, you're not in it for any like personal gratification. You're not in it for people to blow smoke up your arse or anything like that. But what is the ultimate goal of what you're trying to achieve for this the district, in the sense of Sunday mornings?
From what I've taken on so far, the biggest challenge for me, and what would be a feather in my cap, would be to somebody look at Towneley, knock it down, revitalise it, because I'm in discussions with them at the moment about when the goalposts come down.
That's always been an issue, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Big time.
By all accounts, they're trying to build the Cricket League and build the Rounders League. So I sent them a Google aerial view of Towneley as it stands now and the pictures that are available. So we've got pictures 1, 2, and 3 down the left-hand side of the car park. And There's pitch 5 as well. On the other side, when you come out the changing rooms at the back side, you used to have pitch 8 right in front of you and pitch 9. But then they had that big dance music festival there last year or something. So that damaged pitch 8. So we still get to use pitch 9 a little bit. And then you've got the other side, what we call the triangle, that's virtually in front of the park. There used to be some pitches on there as well.
Yeah, they did.
So I said, right, you've got 3 sports. So why not give football where the main football pitches are?
Mm-hmm.
Give cricket there. Give rounders there. You never have to take the goalpost down.
No.
And all 3 sports can flourish.
Yeah.
So as the Rangers leagues grow, the Rangers leagues play on Monday and Wednesday night.
Who doesn't impact? Sorry, Ted. Who's opposing you at this point?
The council.
So can you sit with the? Well, there's going to be a chairman. I've
got names on emails.
There's going to be a chairman of the
groundsman.
cricket. There's going to be a chairman of the rounders. They're the council have always been hard, haven't they? If they've always taken the goals down early, they've always taken goals down on pitches that they always talk about cricket, and then they take goalposts down where there's a single football pitch. And you're like, why have you taken goals down there? Well, because cricket season started. Yeah, but you don't play cricket on this pitch. Like it's just big enough for a football pitch.
Yeah, so and I don't see many. To be fair, when it gets to summer, I'll be making a point of going down to Towneley and just to see how many cricket games are played, where exactly are they played. So I can then, like you can say, I could reach out to the chairman of the cricket league and say, look, I want your sport to flourish. Would you be happy if they just put your two pitches in that section of Towneley?
Yeah.
So that is yours. Whenever you play cricket, that's where you play. This is football, cricket, and rounders. And if that happens, all that would mean is they've brought somebody in from Pendle Council whose sole responsibility is to chase grants, lottery funding, and things like that. Apparently, he's very good. He used to play semi-pro football, so he's very passionate about it. But I don't want plans to refurb. You want plans just to knock them changing rooms down, make 16 bog standard changing rooms, shower facilities, an office, maybe if you want to put a cafe on there, whatever, but use the rest of the money on the pitches.
Yeah.
I bet on average,
you would do it with all the pitches.
We've lost a ball every other game because if it goes in the river,
it's gone.
I even asked them at the bottom end of pitch 1 to put a net across the river. Yeah. So even if the balls did go on pitches 2, 3, and 1, it'd get to that bit and it'd stop. But they don't. And then balls just. I bet the kids at Towneley School love it because every Monday they've got 3 or 4 new balls that they can pick out together. but they wouldn't even do that.
If they did get a grant, the council, then you've got 3 sports there, 3 thriving sports, you would say, because they're clearly trying to build cricket and rounders where you've already built football in that area and it's getting bigger. And like you said, there are the 3 patches of land that are all separated by, there's the small river that runs between the football pitch and the changing rooms. Then you've got the path and the trees down the middle. Like, you've got the areas there where it's already segregated. You're not getting in each other's way. If you split the money evenly, or not even evenly, if one sport needs more money, then you'd pump more into that, but give the other 2 sports as well money. Then you're killing all the birds with all the stones, and you're
to me
building 3 sports.
Sometimes when you look at it, it just looks so easy on paper to go. Yeah, now that you've shown me the aerial view, football, cricket, rounders, everybody's got it. So when we put the grants in, we can make them changing facilities. I know that Belvedere, they've got the new changing facilities because obviously they've got women teams down there now.
Yeah.
That porter cabin that they've got there, I'm sure Phil Ashton told me it was about 30 grand.
Yeah, it would have been.
Just a porter cabin sort of changing room. Yeah. It's a big steel structure, so don't get me wrong. But if that were 30 grand, all right, what's it going to cost to knock Towneley down and rebuild? You redo a couple of mil maybe.
But it is a couple of mil, but like we've already said, grassroots football's worth £10 billion in the grand scheme of things for the country. Yes, that's a lot of people playing grassroots football from, my son who's just started out at 7-year-old all the way up to, you know, adults playing grassroots football. But still, there's still got to be a spend there. You know, how much at the minute, like how much are they paying on your grassroots level of football when you're the one that's opening the changing rooms, you're the one that's sweeping the changing room, you're the one
absolutely nothing.
Some blokes driving, and fair play, some blokes driving around on his grass cutter once every 4 weeks or something, cutting the grass. You know what it used to be like.
I spoke to one of the guys from the council who I met down at the changing room when we're looking at all the spiders' webs and all the things that I wanted to have done. He said, and there were a big pile of sand in the car park because they just had, after that festival, he said that cost us about 1,100 quid. He said the budget for Towneley, including the golf course, used to be upwards of about 16 grand. It's about 12 grand for the year. I mean, it's just not even feasible. Not feasible at all. And it is the bottom of their list across everything that you speak about. Towneley is at the absolute bottom. I've had conversations with Mr. Higginbottom, the local MP, to say, what do the council do? What, and again, in that bit, we talked about mental health and things like that, and getting people physical and active. Tried to push, because I thought, without sounding harsh, they were or are buzzwords at this moment in time.
You're 100% correct.
You've got more chance of getting something pushed through if you're pushing that avenue rather
promoting
than saying,
it.
I want some blokes playing football on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and it's the coalition, though, isn't it? And I think that's the thing of sort of the what you're trying to do is it's not just about what you were saying about coming down and playing football. It's the grand scheme of things of the coalition between you, the rounders, and the cricketers and stuff. And like you're saying, if you all come together in like one sport unity and stuff, and all of a sudden you've got the go ahead, all of a sudden there's plans to knock Townley down, like you're saying, and then when you're going down to Townley now, it's a completely different setup. You've got the footballers on that side, nice new changing rooms, you've got the rounders there, and what that does as well is, for me, that then promotes people coming in from different areas saying, oh, Townley's just been done up. They've got 3 patches of land now where they've got specific sports on that patch of land. So if you've got a family of 4 and in that you've got, say, I don't know, just speaking off, hypothetically, you've got a single mum who's got, 3 children that are sort of wanting to get into sports. It's a perfect thing to bring them down to Townley because you've got 3 different sports going on at the same time, and it just promotes that feel good factor again. But like I said, the coalition of cricket, rounders, and football, a lot of people are, oh well, it's non-relevant. It's not non-relevant. You're all trying to get the same end goal. You're all trying to benefit the town and what you can do with Townley and stuff. And I mean,
and
we
to be
played
fair,
at
off the back of this conversation, that's one thing I haven't even thought about. I'm too busy thinking council, where now I can put a spin on it and go, give me the chairman for the cricket, give me the chairman for the rounders. Let's
go at it together.
Have a chat.
Have a
chat, and all 3 of us will go to the council and go, look, based on what we've talked about, this is what we want.
What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I think that's like Youngie always, the thing about Youngie, and I'm going to blow a little bit of smoke up his backside. The thing about what Youngie has always done is in any situation that we've always been involved with as friends, as best mates and stuff, he's always seen what we can achieve with you both doing the same thing. You can achieve something on your own. Of course, anyone can achieve anything on their own. But if it's something that you can get somebody else involved with, and then all of a sudden you've got different angles of where you're coming from, then all of a sudden you've got more advantage of something happening because you're all singing from the same hymn sheet and you're all trying to get that.
Got the age old saying of a problem shared is a problem halved. So
absolutely,
in this case, a problem in 3s should be easier to attack. So to be fair, that'll be jotted down, and I'll be making I'll make contact with the council just to say I'll be reaching out to these 2 leagues to say, this is what we're going to do. So, but we've been told nets will go down. they've given us an extension of 1 week, so they'll take it down on the 3rd of May.
It's just not acceptable, is it? It's just not.
I said, well, can you give me evidence of how many teams have you got in this league? I even said on my aerial view, where are the pitches?
Yeah, like that's the stuff that you need to know.
Yeah, so I said, if your pitches are there, and there, well, that means we can use still pitches 1, 2, and 3 because we're nowhere near each other.
Yeah,
but
yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest obstacle is the council. But
yeah. And
I've taken them out of the equation by saying, right, just give me the keys. I'll just look after it myself.
I'll just do it myself. Yeah, I'll just do it myself.
It's just easier. Less hassle. Go down and do it. The lads know what the facilities are like down there. Yeah, they complain sometimes about the cold showers.
Go and cement the posts in, Ted.
Yeah,
just go and drop a load of cement in halls and just drop the posts back in, and they're never going to take them out then.
We'll cut this out of the show because if that happens now, they're going to be coming to us.
Well, are we even going to go? Do you know how they do the Briarcliff Gala? Yeah. Well, the Barmers who helped do it all, I know that they go down, I think, like the day before, because Joanne's at Barmer's Garden Machinery. So they go down and they cut the grass and stuff and make sure it's ready. So we're even tempted to go to them and say, what would you charge to go down to Towneley once a month and just
pictures,
cut and level the pictures? Don't worry about marking because they'll have to do the marking. But what would it cost you? And I can say, right, I've gone to a private company. They'll come down once a month in the season and maintain the pitches. And what we wanted to do was, at any given time, we had 4 games on at Towneley. So if there was 8 pitches at any given time, we go, right, this week we'll play on these 4. Next week we'll play on the other 4, but maintain them. And then just rotate them. So they'll be played on, maintained, played on, maintained. But no chance.
No.
The pitches down there, you're more likely to get injured on the pitch than you are in a tackle.
Getting tackled, absolutely, definitely, I think we've all gone over on a couple of molehills on that on Towneley.
Sometimes though, you go down, like we'll get to summer and it'll be a nice, really nice day, and they might have just happened to cut the grass, and you look at them, you think they're all pitches are flat. They're perfectly
they look
flat.
Good. Yeah, they look good when they cut and everything's in good nick. Yeah,
they got maybe pitch 9 on the other side, but pitches 1, 2, and 3. The quality pitches, if they were maintained, they're absolutely quality. But it's just not in there. It might be in their interest, but it's definitely not on their agenda to do anything about it.
It's not top of the list, is it?
No.
No. So obviously we've spoken a lot about grassroots football, but let's step away from grassroots football for a little bit, and we'll talk about Ted's love of Burnley. No, I'm joking.
Bloopers.
We had to drop it in. We know you're a massive.
To be fair, though, you could talk about my love of Burnley, and it's because of grassroots that I'm not in love with Burnley. Yes, Burnley are where I live, and I'll always follow Burnley results. I used to follow Burnley home and away when I was younger, going to your likes of Mansfield and Rochdale and all Plymouth away and things like that. But then once you start playing football on a Saturday, that changes. You can't commit to going on the turf. And in the current climate, yes, I've been on a few games with some of the lads, and me personally, yes, I don't care what anybody says. In my opinion, it's time for Dice to go. I think he's took the club to where he can, but I think you've got to look at the current transfer window and look at what Steven Gerrard's done. He's attracted Coutinho. He's attracted these players, whereas not many players want to come and go through the strict regime of Sean Dyche fitness and probably not get played because he's got his favourites.
He's very set in his ways.
Would I buy a season ticket right now? Not a chance. Not a chance. It's looking very bleak. I truly hope they stay up, but hopefully something will happen in the next 24 or 48 hours. But yeah, the love of Burnley will always be there, but people who ever watch this, if they do watch it, will always say, "Oh, I thought you were a Sheffield Wednesday fan," or "Oh, I thought you were a Liverpool fan."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen you in a couple of Sheffield Wednesday tops when we were playing.
I've got some Sheffield Wednesday shirts. Don't worry about that.
So I saw a stat on some football and how much clubs are losing on tickets not being sold. And we lose quite a bit of money to Burnley on seats not being sold. But my question, my theory is on that is we charge £30 a ticket for people to turn up on the day to go and watch. £30. Like,
you take a family of 4 on.
That's an insane amount of money for
including food as well, Ted.
For a team that's about to get relegated.
For a family of 4, it's best part of a £200 day.
Yeah. And when you think we don't exactly play the most attractive football,
We've been the same team for the last 6 years.
We haven't. We've barely invested in the team. We've invested in the club. The ground and has come a long way. The training ground is amazing.
Yeah.
But if we're in Championship, then it's not worth a penny, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like,
no.
And where our next game is like the biggest game this club's going to have in such a long time because of the importance about it.
Is it Watford game next?
Yeah,
Watford,
Tuesday night next week.
I've had a call yesterday off Carl Sanderson, who works at the club, and they're looking at doing a promotion, and he's asking me to reach out to all the Sunday League teams. So, a promotion, there might be a special offer on. Now, I had a short stint of working at the club, and my role at the time was reaching out to lapsed season ticket holders. Why haven't you renewed? Why aren't you back on the turf? And then I used to sit there and look at it and think, bottom half at James Hargreaves, always empty. I said, why don't we just go to all the schools in the area?
Yeah.
Just give them 50 free tickets.
Yeah.
And these are kids that are anything from the age of 5 to 11.
Yeah.
Give them 53 tickets to 2 schools. I don't know how many adults per kid you need, but it doesn't matter. Because that kid, maybe out of them 50, 5 will want a programme. 5 will want something from the club shop. 5 might go home to the mum and dad and say, I want to go on the turf next week. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And for the cost of nothing, you might have a fan for life. And they started to get like mini football games on at half time, dance groups, all these different things.
Yeah.
And that's what they used to do. And, I think now, I think the American guy is very corporate. He's very commercial, very businessly astute. But the focus needs to be, like you say, 30 quid to go on and watch a game. But then you've got the catch-22 of if you do deals on tickets, how many disgruntled season ticket holders will you get? Because, hold on, I paid X amount of my season ticket, and now you're giving tickets away for a tenner.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but if you're doing it, if you're not doing it for every game, but what I mean is the ticket, £30 a game. If you went to every game, it way more than well outweighs the amount for a season ticket. But then, because usually you buy a season, they always have the early bird offers and stuff like that. If you buy a season ticket now, you get it this cheap, and if you wait until then, it's more expensive. But I just can't understand why we are selling tickets on a match day for 30. It just puts people off. Why would you do that?
And that's the same. Like the lads that they will laugh and joke about you saying I'm a Burnley fan. Their not regime, but I love what they do. They'll come to the pub at 12 o'clock. Give or take 12:15, they get in the taxi down to the turf, and I'll meet them in town after. Because I've got no intention of, like you say, of paying £30 and going and just sitting on and watching the same. Like, it's so predictable football.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate now. I'm going to play devil's advocate really quickly. I'm going to play devil's advocate, right? So, for one, I agree with you on all your points you've made about darts, about the style of football, about his structure and stuff like that. Reading the last couple of, especially the last 24 hours, and the players that we've almost, fingers crossed, hopefully they come over the line. These deals that we're apparently doing, the tricky creation and the big
Wet Horse or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the big Dutch lad.
Yeah.
Someone met me and Youngie were talking about before you came on. Our last front four was. I don't think he'll leave Jay out in the last game, and I think Jay played well, to be honest with you. But then you're looking at what you've got on the bench, and I think that's one of Burnley's biggest Achilles heel recently. Is the bench has not been good enough. We've not had the strength and depth on that bench to come on and change the game. And with all due respect to players like Dale Stevens, Eric Peters, Phil Bardsley, players like that. They're not going to come on and change that game. So my argument is on Sunday against Arsenal, that was Burnley. Strong resistance. We defended really well. Don't get me wrong, Arsenal could have scored about 15.
We were away from home. We had a decent following who all made a stupid amount of noise. Now, if we're at home against Watford on Tuesday night and we get 12,000 fans on.
That's why I think we should do a deal for that game to get as many fans on as possible.
Can you remember when they used to do quid a kid? And
£5 for a ticket or something.
Your adult had to pay like 20 quid, and then your kid under the age of 7 or 8 got on for a quid. I remember
that stadium against Watford.
Das Carruthers was getting on for a quid until he was about 35-year-old.
but what you've got as well is on Tuesday, it's after deadline day.
Yeah.
So near as damn it, if you're doing a deal, you better make sure that you've got a couple of players over the line, because you might have a busy stadium, but you've got a backlash of fans that are once again annoyed there's been no activity. Now it looks as though that Orsic is coming over the line. I'm all on board. I've said this years ago. Look at what Leicester did with Conte and Mahrez. Plucked them out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what Burnley's European scouting system's like, but I wouldn't begrudge them if they took a £5 million punt on a relatively unknown, rather than paying 15 million for an overrated Championship player who can't cut it in the top division.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more with you.
But we've just done it. We've done it once already, haven't we? We've done it once already.
Cornet.
Look at Cornet recently. Like, he's been the talisman. Like, he's what Dwight McNeil was a couple of seasons ago for Burnley when Dwight McNeil turned up. Came through however he came through, and it was that talisman, it was that edge that Burnley needed, and it kept us up this season.
I watched the penalty shootout last night, and I'm thinking, I want Egypt to go through. Egypt go through. That's Cornet on his way back home.
Yeah, I were exactly the same. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think that's what they're doing now.
I don't want him to be like Thomas Partey for Arsenal, because he was like literally home, got off the plane, came on bench, and got sent off.
We'll avoid that. But that's what they're doing now, and I think that's the biggest difference between the board we had before and the board we've got now. They seem to be building on these signings. Cornet, hopefully Orsic and Weghorst. Unbelievable signings compared to what we've been used to. And
but
that's
like
no
disrespect
disrespect
to
the previous ones.
I'm always gutted because I like Vidremy, and he just doesn't get enough game time. And anybody make an impact when all you get is 5 minutes every game.
Yeah, you can't make an impact after 5 minutes. No, I agree. We don't know where Barnes is. Nobody's seen him for ages. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens on Tuesday. But yeah, it's a 12-pointer. It's not even a 6-pointer. 100%. If we win that, I'm going to put everything on the line. If we beat Watford, we're going to stay up. You've heard it here. If we beat Watford, we'll stay up, because we've just come off a very good performance against Arsenal. Get these players over the line, get that freshness in the club again, and then go at Watford.
Ben came out and said Sunday were what we were like. That's the Burnley of old. We don't concede, we frustrate teams, but we just need goals now.
Yeah. And they've got that. If they get these two lads in, they will get him.
They've got to play though, haven't they? That's the thing. And it is a bit harsh on Vidra, and it's a bit harsh on Jay, because Jay had a decent game against Arsenal. But I think you've already said it, Ted. Like, I think Sean Dyche's time is up, and a lot of people will see it, and we've said it before, me and Mark, with other people. Like, he's been the best manager that this club's ever had. He's taken us to the promised land and back again.
He doesn't leave under a cloud like Owen Coyle did. He leaves under the cloud of absolutely you deserve a statue in town. You've built the train, 100%. You've built the training facility, you've kept in the Premier League. And albeit, whilst your style of football is whatever, but that's a management style that's kept us in the league.
Yeah,
for so however awful it is to watch. And every so often we might bag 3 in a game and it looks good, but he's hit that glass roof now. And I think
it is one of them though, isn't it? Where if he keeps us up, then he stays with us. But also, we want him out. But you bring somebody else in and you're a bit like, who do we go? You know, look at Watford.
It is the catch-22, but you've got to look at the club. And he signs a 4.5-year deal. He'll be the biggest earner at the club.
Yeah,
exactly.
So a lot of people say, and rightly so, and rightly so. Yeah, well, maybe rightly so. But now, like you say, if these players come in,
he has to change that style of play.
It's not 3 or 4 weeks until they get inside. They come in,
in that
and
team.
they're in.
Yeah. That's what's got to happen.
That's the problem. They've signed players in the past, and that's it. They just never get played.
And I think that'll be different with these two lads who come in, big time.
I think it's got to be.
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
He knows how big that game is against Watford. He's not stupid. He knows how big that game is.
Yeah, but they've obviously got Roy Hodgson in now, haven't they? So, but I've seen that today that Watford has signed a player today.
Have you seen him?
I'm thinking, well, that proves that the managers sometimes don't have a decision who they sign.
Yeah. Have you seen him though? Have you seen him? I think he's like
25. He looks 45.
23 or 25-year-old, and he looks like he's in his 60s.
He looks like Kenny.
It might be Kenny.
It might be.
I'd pay to see that. I'd pay 30 quid to see that.
Sorry, Kenny. Sorry, mate.
Right, lads. I think we're towards the end, so I think it's. Oh, I've lost my camera. I think it's about time we said our thank yous, really. So yeah, Ted, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
It's been great to get the take on grassroots football, and yeah,
I've enjoyed it, and obviously you've shed light now into what I've got a plan tomorrow to speak to cricket and rounders. So yeah, it's good.
There you go. Look at that.
Because you hear different things, you get different ideas.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, it's been good to have a chat.
And obviously we'll post this. I'll edit it probably Monday night now, because I'm away from tomorrow for the weekend. But we'll get it edited and then we'll get it out.
Good stuff.
We'll get it shared, and hopefully someone in the council gets to see it and gets to have a little watch and sees and just sees how passionate you are. Because you sit in a boardroom and you're in front of these people and they think, oh yeah, you're talking nonsense to me, but actually you've got a passion for this. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for spending your evening with us two idiots. Mark, it's been a pleasure as always.
Couldn't do it out you, mate. As always, pal. Like we said, Ted, thanks very much for coming on. You've been a pleasure.
My pleasure. Good to see you both.
I knew you'd be good. Like I said, make sure you promote the big one when this gets released, because I nearly had a tear in my eye when I was talking about that goal, pal.
Good,
Cheers, Ted. Thank you.
Yeah, take care, boys. See you later. All the best.